Picture this: 1971, a Dutch television studio. Two intellectual heavyweights, Noam Chomsky and Michel Foucault, are about to engage in a battle of ideas. The air crackles with anticipation. This isn't just a debate, it's a clash of titans. At the heart of it all lies a fundamental question: what is human nature? The stage was set for a captivating exchange. Chomsky, the brilliant linguist and political activist, championed the idea of an innate human nature. On the other side, we had Foucault, the philosopher extraordinaire, known for his critiques of power and societal norms. He challenged the very notion of a fixed human nature. It was a meeting of minds destined to be debated for decades to come. The host, Fons Elders, wasn't your average moderator. He seemed to revel in the drama, even offering Foucault hashish as partial payment. This unorthodox approach, while raising eyebrows, added an element of unpredictability to the already charged atmosphere. This was intellectual discourse, yes, but with a touch of the theatrical. The crux of the debate rested on one key question: is there such a thing as human nature? Chomsky, armed with his expertise in linguistics, argued for a universal grammar inherent to all humans. He believed this pointed to a deeper, innate human nature. This nature, he argued, was the foundation for our understanding of justice and morality. Foucault, true to form, offered a different perspective. He was wary of grand narratives and universal truths. He saw human nature as a construct, shaped by power structures and historical contexts. For him, justice wasn't about tapping into some inherent moral compass, it was about understanding and dismantling the systems of power that create and perpetuate injustice. This fundamental difference in their views on human nature underpinned their entire debate. Chomsky sought universal principles, a common ground upon which to build a just world. Foucault, ever the skeptic, urged us to deconstruct the very categories we take for granted, to see how power shapes our understanding of ourselves and the world. To fully grasp the weight of this debate, we must journey back to the 1970s. The world was in flux, still reeling from the aftershocks of the 1960s. The Vietnam War raged on, sparking protests and challenging traditional power structures. The civil rights movement was gaining momentum, demanding equality and justice for all. This era of upheaval provided fertile ground for intellectual debate. Traditional norms were being questioned, and new ideas were taking root. It was a time of both hope and uncertainty, a time ripe for challenging the status quo. Both Chomsky and Foucault, each in their own way, were products of this tumultuous period. Their ideas resonated with a generation hungry for change. Chomsky's critiques of American foreign policy and his defense of human rights struck a chord with those disillusioned by the war. Foucault's deconstruction of power dynamics and his call for liberation resonated with those fighting for social justice. The debate itself was a captivating spectacle. Chomsky, speaking in his usual measured tones, laid out his arguments with clarity and precision. Foucault, with his characteristic intensity, challenged Chomsky's assumptions and offered alternative perspectives. The clash of their intellects was both exhilarating and thought-provoking. Adding to the intrigue was the language barrier. Foucault, though fluent in English, occasionally switched to his native French, adding another layer of complexity to the exchange. This linguistic dance further highlighted the cultural and philosophical differences between the two thinkers. And then there was Fons Elders, the enigmatic host. His attempts to liven up the debate, offering Foucault hashish and a red wig, were met with amusement and bewilderment. Some criticized his antics as gimmicky, while others saw them as a playful jab at the seriousness of intellectual discourse. Section 5: Foucault's lens, power, knowledge, and justice. To understand Foucault's position, we must delve into his concepts of power, knowledge, and justice. Foucault saw power not as something held by individuals or institutions, but as a force that flows through all social relations. Knowledge, for him, was not neutral, but intertwined with power, shaping our understanding of the world. He argued that what we consider truth or justice is not inherent, but rather a product of the dominant discourses of our time. These discourses, shaped by power relations, determine what is considered acceptable, normal, and true. Therefore, achieving justice for Foucault meant challenging and dismantling these dominant discourses. Foucault's ideas challenged traditional notions of right and wrong. He urged us to look beyond the surface of societal norms and question the power structures that underpin them. His work encouraged a critical engagement with the world, asking us to consider who benefits from the existing order and how power shapes our understanding of justice. Section 6. Chomsky's view, language and universal justice. In contrast to Foucault's emphasis on power and social construction, Chomsky approached the debate from a linguistic scientific perspective. He argued that his research on language revealed a universal grammar. This innate human capacity for language, he believed, pointed to a deeper, inherent human nature. Chomsky saw this inherent human nature as the basis for a universal morality and justice. He believed that humans, by their very nature, had a capacity for empathy, cooperation, and a desire for fairness. While he acknowledged the influence of culture and society, he maintained that these universal principles provided a foundation for building a more just world. Chomsky's views resonated with those seeking a more optimistic view of human nature. His work offered a sense of hope that a more just world was possible, grounded in our shared humanity and our innate capacity for goodness. Section 7. Foucault's enduring legacy, shaping modern thought. The echoes of the 1971 debate continue to reverberate today. Foucault's ideas in particular have had a profound impact on how we think about power, knowledge, and the self. His work has been instrumental in the development of postmodern thought, which challenges grand narratives and emphasizes the importance of context and perspective. Foucault's concept of discourse has become a ubiquitous term, used to analyze how language shapes our understanding of the world. His work on the history of sexuality has influenced queer theory and challenged traditional views on gender and identity. Foucault's legacy is complex and contested. His critics accuse him of nihilism and relativism, arguing that his deconstruction of truth and morality leaves us with no moral compass. However, his supporters see him as a vital voice, urging us to question assumptions, challenge power, and imagine a more just and equitable world. Section 8. The digital age, Foucault's relevance today. Foucault's ideas are perhaps even more relevant in our current digital age. His work on surveillance and the panopticon, originally conceived as a metaphor for prison design, has found new resonance in an era of ubiquitous surveillance cameras, data tracking, and social media monitoring. Foucault's exploration of the self is also particularly pertinent in our hyper-connected world. His notion of the self as a constantly evolving project, shaped by social forces and power dynamics, resonates with the curated identities we create and perform online. The pressure to present a perfect online persona, the constant self-monitoring and self-censorship, and the anxiety of being constantly watched and judged, these are all phenomena that Foucault's work helps us to understand. Section 9. A call to action, applying philosophical insights. The 1971 debate between Chomsky and Foucault was not merely an academic exercise, it was a call to action. It challenged us to think critically about human nature, justice, power, and the world around us. Their ideas, though sometimes complex and challenging, offer valuable tools for navigating the complexities of our time. Whether we agree with Chomsky's belief in an innate human goodness, or Foucault's emphasis on the pervasive nature of power, their work encourages us to engage in a process of critical self-reflection. It asks us to question our assumptions, challenge injustice, and strive to create a more equitable and humane world. By engaging with these ideas, by questioning, debating, and applying these philosophical insights to our own lives, we can contribute to building a future where justice and equality are not abstract ideals but lived realities. The legacy of the Chomsky-Foucault debate lies not in finding definitive answers, but in inspiring us to ask the right questions and to never stop questioning.